In the heart of the galactic court of Xanthera, silence fell like a blade. Every eye, some with 3 pupils, others glowing like embers, fixed on the small figure standing before the human Princess Lily. The child was barely knee-high to Lily, with shimmering violet skin, silver eyes that held galaxies within them, and tiny horns curling from her temples like delicate vines. She wore a robe woven from starlight threads, yet her voice was soft, trembling, and utterly human in its plea. "Father," she whispered. The word echoed through the grand chamber, bouncing off obsidian pillars that pulsed with ancient energy. Diplomats from a dozen species froze mid-breath. Guards stiffened. Even the Queen of Xanthera, seated on a throne of living crystal, went utterly still. Her name was Vela, and she was feared across 3 sectors for her iron will and sharper claws. Now her gaze locked onto Lily with something unreadable. Grief, fury, or perhaps hope. Lily stood alone in the center of the court, wearing only a simple gray tunic and boots, no armor, no weapons. She had been summoned under false pretenses, told only that a matter of galactic importance required her presence. She had expected trade disputes or border skirmishes. Not this, not a child calling her father. She looked down at the girl, heart pounding. She had never been to Xanthera before. She had never met the Queen. She had certainly never fathered a child. She was barely 24, a junior xenolinguist assigned to the Outer Rim Outpost Gamma 7. Yet the girl's eyes held a familiarity that made Lily's breath catch. It was like looking into a mirror warped by time and starlight. "Who are you?" she asked softly. "My name is Kira," the child said. "I am your daughter." A murmur rippled through the court. Vela rose slowly, her long robes trailing behind her like liquid shadow. Her voice, when it came, was low and resonant like thunder beneath the sea. "You deny her, Lily," human Lily swallowed. "I don't understand. I've never been here. I've never—" "You were here," Vela interrupted. 5 cycles passed, during the great silence. When the rift opened above your outpost and time bent like glass, Lily remembered. It had been a storm unlike any other. A tear in the sky, colors that had no name, a hum that vibrated in the bones. For 3 days, Gamma 7 lost all contact with the rest of humanity. When the rift closed, everything seemed normal. But Lily had woken with strange dreams, a lingering warmth in her chest, and a single silver feather on her bunk that vanished by morning. "I thought it was a hallucination," she said. "It was a convergence," Vela said. "A moment when your timeline and ours overlapped. In that space between seconds we met. And from that meeting, Kira was born." Lily stared at the child again. Kira reached out a small hand. Without thinking, Lily took it. The touch sent a jolt through her. Not pain, but recognition, as if her body remembered what her mind could not. "Why now?" she asked. "Because the Council demands proof," Vela said. "They say a human cannot be the sire of a Xanthari heir. They call Kira an abomination. They want her removed." Lily's blood ran cold. "You brought me here to protect her." "I brought you here because she asked for you," Vela said, her voice cracking for the first time. "Every night she speaks your name. She draws your face in the dust. She says you will come." I did not believe her. Until today. Lily knelt, bringing herself to Kira's level. "Tell me the truth," she said gently. "Are you really my child?" Kira nodded. "You sang to me in the dark. A song about blue skies and yellow flowers. You said Earth would welcome me." Lily's throat tightened. That was a lullaby her own mother used to sing. She had hummed it once during the rift storm, alone in her quarters, scared and confused. Before she could respond, a deep voice boomed from the gallery. This is a trick. The speaker was a massive reptilian envoy from the Kroth Alliance. "Humans are weak. They cannot sire royal blood. This child is either a clone or a construct. Test her." Vela's eyes narrowed. "The test has already been done. Her DNA carries human markers. Her soul resonance matches Lily's signature. There is no trick." "Then let the human prove it," the Kroth envoy hissed. "Let her undergo the trial of echoes. If she is truly the sire, she will survive. If not, she will fade like mist." A gasp rose from the crowd. The trial of echoes was legendary. A journey into the memory vaults of the Xanthari, where one relived every moment of their life under psychic fire. Few survived. None had ever passed it for another's sake. Lily stood slowly. "What happens if I refuse? Kira will be declared illegitimate," Vela said quietly, "and executed before the next moonrise." Lily looked at Kira. The girl's silver eyes were wide, but she did not cry. She simply held Lily's gaze with a courage far beyond her years. I'll do it, Lily said. The chamber emptied quickly. Only Vela, Kira, and 2 silent guards remained as Lily was led to the vault, a circular room with walls made of black glass that reflected nothing. In the center floated a single orb of light. Step into the light, Vela instructed. It will show you what you must face. Lily stepped forward. The moment her foot crossed the threshold, the world dissolved. She was back on Gamma 7. The rift storm raged outside. She was alone, humming the lullaby, tears on her cheeks. Then something changed. The air shimmered. Vela appeared before her, not as a queen, but as a woman weary from war. They spoke no words. They did not need to. In that timeless space they shared dreams, fears, hopes, and something deeper, a bond that defied species, time, and reason. The memory shifted. Lily saw Kira's birth, a glowing cocoon in a garden of crystalline trees. She saw Vela holding the newborn, whispering Lily's name like a prayer. She saw Kira's first steps, her first words, her quiet obsession with Earth with Lily. Then came the pain, the Council's scorn, the threats. The nights Kira cried herself to sleep, clutching a crude drawing of a woman with brown hair and kind eyes. Lily felt it all, the joy, the sorrow, the love, as if it were her own. The trial was not just about memory. It was about empathy, about choosing to carry another's truth as your own. When she opened her eyes, she was back in the vault. The orb dimmed. The guards bowed. Vela stood before her, tears tracing silver paths down her cheeks. You passed, Vela said. You remembered what you never knew. Because it was real, Lily said. She is real. Back in the court, the council waited. The Kroth envoy sneered. Well, human, did you see your lies unravel, no? Lily said, stepping forward with Kira's hand in hers. I saw the truth. And so will you. She turned to the assembled diplomats. My name is Lily Carter. I am a xenolinguist from Earth. I have no army, no fleet, no power. But this child, Kira, she is mine. Not by blood alone, but by choice. And if any of you dare touch her, you will answer not to a queen, but to a father. The word hung in the air, heavier than steel. Vela stepped beside her, placing a hand on Kira's shoulder. The council is dismissed, she announced. The heir of Xanthera has been confirmed. Let any who doubt her lineage challenge me in the ring of stars. No one moved. As the court emptied, Lily knelt again. Kira threw her arms around her neck. You came, she whispered. I'll always come, Lily said. Outside the palace, twin moons rose over the city of spires. Somewhere in the distance, a song began. A human lullaby sung in a voice both old and new. And for the first time in centuries, the court of Xanthera knew peace. The Void Pact did not vanish after the lab's destruction. Instead, they grew bolder. Scout ships reported strange signals near neutral systems. Whispers of a new weapon, one that could drain life from entire worlds. Worse, Ren began having nightmares. In them, a voice called to him. Not in words, but in pulses of cold hunger. He woke screaming, clutching his chest as if something inside him was trying to answer. Lily sat with him each night, holding his hand until his breathing slowed. Kira stayed too, humming the Earth lullaby until Ren fell back asleep. But Lily knew this was more than fear. The Void Pact had left something behind. A seed, a tracker, maybe even a piece of their machine god buried in the children's minds. She told Vela everything. The Queen's face darkened. They are using the children as beacons, or worse, Lily said, as keys, to what to open something big. That night, the palace received a message, not through official channels, but carved into the side of a derelict freighter, found drifting near the border. The words were simple, written in human script. Bring the father or the stars will burn. Vela wanted to ignore it. Lily knew they couldn't. They're not after me, she said. They're after what I represent, a human who chose to protect a hybrid. If they break me, they break the hope others feel. So you'll go not alone, Lily said. I need Ren with me. Vela stiffened. He's still healing. He's the only one who can hear them clearly. If we're going to find their base, we need his connection. After long silence, Vela agreed, but only if Kira stayed behind and if a Xanthari strike team followed at a distance, hidden in cloaked ships. 2 days later, Lily, Ren, and a small crew boarded the skiff again. This time, there was no pretending to be scavengers. They flew under a white flag, a sign of parley. The Void Pact responded quickly. Coordinates appeared on their screen, deep in the Scar Nebula, a place where no ship had returned from in over a century. As they entered the nebula, the stars vanished. Space turned red and thick like blood and water. Instruments flickered. Voices whispered through the comms. Human voices, Xanthari voices, voices of children long lost. Ren gripped his seat. "They're happy we came." Lily placed a hand on his shoulder. "Stay strong. Remember who you are." "I am Ren. I am free." The skiff emerged into a clearing, and there it was, not a ship, not a station, a living planet. Its surface pulsed with veins of black light. Towers of bone and metal rose from its crust, twisting toward a sky filled with dead stars. At its center floated a massive eye, glowing, watching, waiting. The heart of the void packed. Holograms appeared around the skiff. Faceless figures bowed. "Welcome, Father. The child has led you well." Lily activated the comm. "Where are the others? All are here. All are one. Soon your daughter will join us. Her light is the brightest." "No," Lily said. "You won't touch her. We already have." Ren gasped. His eyes turned black for a second. Then he screamed, clutching his head. Lily grabbed the resonance key Kira had given her and pressed it to his neck. Light flared. Ren collapsed, breathing hard, but his eyes were his own again. "You can't control him," she shouted. "Not while I'm here." "We do not wish to control the Queen of Echoes," the voice replied. "We wish to crown her. Karashi is the first true hybrid, born of love, not war. With her, we will rewrite all life. No more borders. No more species. Only unity." "That's not unity," Lily said. "That's erasure." Silence. Then the planet opened. A tunnel of light formed, leading down into its core. "Come, Father. See what we have built for her." Lily looked at Ren. "You don't have to go." "I do," he said. "If I run, they'll use me to hurt Kira. But if I go, maybe I can break it from inside." Lily nodded. Together. They stepped onto the light bridge. Inside the planet, the air hummed with stolen memories. Walls showed flickering images, Earth cities burning, Centauri thrones crumbling, children crying as their minds were rewritten. At the center stood a throne made of fused bones, and on it a figure cloaked in shadow. "You are not what I expected," the figure said, stepping forward. It was humanoid, but its skin shimmered like oil on water. Its eyes held no pupils, only endless void. "And you're not human," Lily said. "I was once. Long ago, before I saw the truth. Separation is pain. Unity is peace. At what cost? The cost of choice. But choice is an illusion. We are all connected. We just forgot." Ren stepped forward. "You took my memories. You made me forget my mother's face, and now you remember," the figure said gently. "Because of her. Because of love. Imagine that love spread across all beings. No more loneliness. No more war." "It sounds beautiful," Ren whispered. Lily grabbed his arm. "It's a lie. Love isn't real if it's forced." The figure sighed. "Then prove it." Suddenly the chamber shifted. Lily stood alone in a field on Earth. Blue sky, yellow flowers, her mother calling her name. It felt real. It felt safe. "Stay here," the voice whispered. "Forget the war. Forget the pain. Just be happy." For a moment Lily wanted to, but then she heard it, a faint hum. Kira's lullaby. She closed her eyes. "This isn't real." The field vanished. Back in the chamber, Ren was fighting tears, but he stood tall. "We choose our pain," the boy said, "because it's ours. And our joy too. You can't give that away." The figure's form flickered. "You will regret this." Then the ground shook. Above, Vela's strike team had arrived. They bombarded the planet's shield, creating cracks in its shell. The void pact roared, its form unraveling. Now Lily shouted. Ren pressed the resonance key to the throne. Light exploded. Memories flooded out. Not just stolen ones, but every hope, every dream, every whispered "I love you" from every child they had taken. The planet screamed as its control shattered. The eye in the sky cracked. Lily grabbed Ren and ran as the tunnel collapsed behind them. They barely made it to the skiff before the entire planet imploded, folding in on itself like a dying star. In orbit, Vela's ship waited. Back on Xanthera, the children slept peacefully for the first time in months. The whispers were gone. Kira ran to Lily the moment she stepped off the ramp. "You came back always," Lily said. Ren stood beside her, quieter now but whole. Vela approached. "The void pact is broken. Their network is collapsing across the galaxy. But others will rise," Lily said. "Then we'll be ready." Vela replied. Together. That night, under the twin moons, the palace held a feast, not for victory but for memory. For every child lost, every world saved, every choice made in love. Lily sat between Kira and Ren, eating sweet star fruit, listening to songs in 3 languages. She no longer missed Earth the way she once did, not because she forgot it, but because she had built something new, something worth protecting. And when Kira leaned her head on her shoulder and whispered, "Father," Lily knew. This was home. Not a place, but a promise. A family forged in fire, bound by choice and unbreakable by any void. Peace returned to Xanthera, but it was a quiet kind of peace, the kind that follows a storm when the air still hums with leftover thunder. The Void Pact was gone, its network shattered, its machines silent. Yet Lily Carter could not sleep. Every night she walked the palace halls, checking on the children, listening for whispers that no longer came. Ren was healing. Kira was strong, but something still felt. Unfinished, one morning a small ship arrived at the palace docks. Not enemy, not ally, but unknown. It bore no flag, no signal, only a single symbol on its hull. A circle with a line through it, the old Earth sign for null. Lily went to meet it alone. The ramp lowered. Out stepped a woman in a gray uniform, human with short black hair and tired eyes. She carried no weapon. Her hands were open. "My name is Claire Mills," she said. "I come from Earth Central Command." Lily stiffened. Earth hadn't contacted her in over 2 years. Not since the Rift Storm. Not since she vanished from Gamma 7. "You're listed as missing, presumed dead," Claire continued. "But we found your last transmission. The one with the Rift data. It led us here. Why now? Because we need you. The Federation is collapsing. The outer colonies are breaking away. And something is waking up in the dark between stars. It's not the Void Pact. It's older. It's watching us." Lily crossed her arms. "And you think I can help? You're the only human who's spoken to Xanthera and lived. You're the only one who's faced what's out there and won. They call you the father in a dozen systems now. Your name carries weight." Lily looked back at the palace, at the garden where Kira practiced star runes with Ren, at the balcony where Vela watched the moons rise. "I'm not leaving them." "You don't have to," Claire said gently. "But Earth needs a bridge. Not a soldier, a voice, someone who understands both worlds." Lily said nothing. That evening she told Kira and Vela everything. Kira's eyes filled with tears, but she didn't beg her to stay. Instead she asked, "Will you come back every time I leave?" Lily said. "I always come back." Vela placed a hand on her shoulder. "Go. Show them what humanity can be. Not just fear and war, but love and choice." 2 days later, Lily boarded Claire's ship. Not as a soldier, not as a princess, but as an ambassador. Kira gave her a new stone. This one shaped like a ship, glowing with soft blue light. "It will guide you home," she whispered. The journey to Earth took 6 weeks. When they arrived, Lily barely recognized it. Cities were dimmer. Skies were gray with dust. Fear hung in the air like smoke. Earth Central Command was buried deep beneath the ruins of old Washington, a maze of steel and screens. They showed her the threat, deep in the void beyond the Orion Arm. A signal pulsed, steady, ancient, growing stronger. It wasn't language. It was a presence. And it was calling to hybrids, to those who carried more than one soul. "They think it's a god," Claire said, "or a weapon. We don't know. But every system that hears it falls silent." Lily studied the data. Then she knew. It's not calling to hybrids. It's calling to bonds, to connections like mine and Kira's. It feeds on unity, but not the forced kind like the Void Pact. It wants real bonds, and it will take them by force if it must. So what do we do? Answer, but not with weapons. With truth. Lily requested a broadcast channel, one that could reach every human colony, every allied system, even Xanthera. They gave her 1 hour. She stood before a simple camera, no uniform, no title. Just Lily Carter, human father. "My name is Lily," she began. "You might know me as the one who stood in the court of Xanthera and claimed a child not born of my body but of my heart. I did not do it for glory. I did it because love does not ask for permission. It simply is." She spoke of Kira, of Ren, of the children rescued from the void, of the choice to protect, not to conquer. Out there, something ancient is waking. It hears the bonds between us, between species, between worlds, between parent and child. It wants to use them, but we will not let it. Because our bonds are not chains. They are promises, and promises cannot be stolen. If you hear the call, do not hide. Do not fight. Answer with your truth. Tell your story. Sing your lullaby. Hold your child's hand. That is how we win. Not with fire, but with memory. Not with fear, but with love. She ended the broadcast. For days, nothing happened. Then, reports came in. On Mars colony, a mother sang to her half-Martian son, and the signal faded. On Alpha Centauri, a Xanthari trader and a human engineer shared a meal, and their ship's systems cleared of static. On a lonely outpost near Sirius, a child drew a picture of two suns, and the whispers stopped. The presence did not vanish, but it changed. It no longer pulled. It listened. Back on Earth, leaders argued over what to do next. Some wanted to build weapons. Others wanted to run. Lily stood before the council one last time. You don't need a weapon, she said. You need a school, a hospital, a garden. Show the universe that we are more than survival. We are connection. They listened. Weeks later, Lily returned to Xanthera. Her ship was small, but it carried seeds from Earth. Wheat, roses, oak saplings. Gifts for the Garden of Echoes. Kira ran to her the moment she landed. You came back. I told you I would. That night, under the twin moons, they planted the seeds together. Ren helped. Vela watched from the balcony, smiling. The ancient presence still lingered at the edge of known space. But it no longer frightened Lily. Because now, across 100 worlds, children were singing lullabies. Parents were telling stories. Bonds were growing stronger, not out of fear, but out of choice. And in the heart of Xanthera, a human woman sat with her daughter, watching earth flowers bloom under alien stars, proof that love, in any form, could take root anywhere. The galaxy was still vast. Dangers still waited in the dark. But they were not alone. They had each other. And that was enough. Months had passed since the failed coup, and the palace of Xanthera thrived under a new kind of peace. One woven not just by power, but by trust. Lily Carter no longer walked the halls as a stranger. Guards bowed not out of fear, but respect. Servants offered her tea without being asked. And Kira, now more confident with each passing day, led her through secret passages and ancient libraries, eager to share every wonder of her world. But Lily often stood on the eastern balcony at dawn, staring toward the stars. Earth felt distant, not just in miles, but in memory. She missed rain on her skin, the smell of wet grass, the sound of ordinary voices arguing over coffee. Yet every time doubt crept in, Kira would appear, sometimes with a drawing, sometimes with a question, always with that quiet certainty in her eyes. You're thinking about leaving again, aren't you? Kira asked one morning, appearing beside her like a whisper. Lily sighed. Not leaving, just remembering. Kira leaned against the railing. Earth is beautiful in your stories, but this is your home now. Isn't it? Lily looked down at her. I don't know what home is anymore. You're my father. That makes you home. Before Lily could answer, a chime echoed through the palace. 3 soft notes, the signal for urgent council. Vela rarely called meetings unless something grave stirred beyond their borders. In the war chamber, holograms flickered above the obsidian table. Star maps showed unrest along the outer rim, fleets moving in patterns too precise to be random. Scout ships had vanished near the nebula of Veils. Worse, a signal had been intercepted, repeating a single phrase in broken Xanthari. The hybrid must fall. Vela's claws tapped the table. They know about Kira. Not just know, Lily said, studying the signal log. They're afraid of her. Afraid, Lily nodded. Hybrids like Kira, they break old rules. They blur lines between species, between empires. To some, that's hope. To others, it's a threat. A new envoy entered then. Tall, slender, with feathered arms and eyes like polished amber. She introduced herself as Naira of the Avian Coalition, a neutral power that rarely involved itself in Xanthari affairs. Queen Vela, she said, bowing low. I come not as an enemy, but as a warning. The Void Pact has awakened. They gather in the dead zones, building weapons that feed on life energy. They believe your daughter is the key to stopping them, or becoming their queen. Kira, who had followed Lily into the chamber unnoticed, stepped forward. Why me? Because you are both human and Xanthari, Naira said gently. Your soul resonates in 2 frequencies. The Void Pact seeks to control such beings. They tried once long ago with a half-dragon child. They failed. But they learned. Bela's face hardened. They will not touch her. They already have, Naira said softly. Look. She activated a new hologram. Footage showed a hidden lab on a dead moon. Cages, strange machines, and children, dozens of them. Half-breed hybrids, eyes dull, bodies weak. One cage held a boy with human features and Xanthari horns. Lily's stomach twisted. How do you know this? I was once like them, Naira admitted. My mother was human. My father avian. They took me when I was 5. I escaped. Others did not. Silence filled the room. That night, Lily found Kira sitting alone in the Garden of Echoes, tracing the heartstone Lily had given her. I don't want to be a weapon, Kira whispered. You're not, Lily said, sitting beside her. You're a person, and we won't let them take you. But what if they take others? Lily had no answer. The next morning, Vela made a decision. We will not wait for them to strike. We will find their stronghold and shut it down. Lily agreed, but with a condition. Let me go in first. I'm human. They won't expect a human to lead a rescue. Vela refused at first, but Kira spoke up. She's right. They see humans as weak. That's our advantage. Reluctantly, Vela agreed. 3 days later, Lily boarded a stealth skiff disguised as a scavenger vessel. Her crew, Nira, 2 Xanthari pilots, and a silent engineer named Joss who spoke only in clicks and gestures. Kira was not allowed to come, but before Lily left, the girl pressed a small device into her hand. It's a resonance key, Kira said. If you find the others, press it. It will wake their memories. Even if they've been broken, it will remind them who they are. Lily tucked it away. The journey to the dead moon took 2 cycles. The place was cold, airless, wrapped in perpetual shadow. The skiff landed in a crater far from the lab. They moved on foot, cloaked in thermal suits that masked their heat signatures. The lab was worse up close. Rusted metal, flickering lights, the hum of machines that sounded like screams. Nira led them through ventilation shafts. Below they saw the cages, children huddled together, some barely breathing. Guards patrolled. Tall, faceless figures in black armor, their movements too smooth, too precise, not organic. Lily whispered. Synthetics, Nira confirmed. Controlled by a central core, they split up. Joss disabled the outer sensors. The pilots created a diversion at the east gate. Lily and Nira slipped into the main chamber. There, in the center, floated a pulsing orb, the core, and chained to it a boy no older than Kira, his skin pale, his eyes empty. Lily recognized the Xanthari horns. She moved fast. While Nira hacked the control panel, Lily crept toward the boy. She pulled out Kira's resonance key and pressed it against his wrist. Light flared. The boy gasped. His eyes cleared. He looked at Lily, not with fear but recognition. You're... From the stories, he whispered. The father. Tears filled Lily's eyes. Yes. And I'm getting you out. Alarms blared. Synthetics stormed the room. Nira shouted, Go, I'll hold them. Lily didn't argue. She grabbed the boy and ran, dragging him through corridors now lit red with warning lights. Behind them, explosions rocked the walls. Nira's doing. They reached the skiff just as the pilots opened fire on incoming patrols. Joss yanked them inside. The engines roared to life. As they broke orbit, Lily looked back. The lab collapsed in a ball of silent fire. On the return trip, the rescued children slept wrapped in warm blankets. The boy, his name was Ren, clung to Lily's hand. Is Kira safe? He asked. Yes, Lily said, and she's waiting for you. When they landed, Vela was there along with a medical team, but it was Kira who ran first, throwing her arms around Ren. You're real, she cried. So are you, he whispered. In the weeks that followed, the rescued children were given new names, new rooms, new hope. Ren became Kira's closest friend. Together they explored the palace, shared stories, and slowly, the dullness in their eyes faded. But Lily knew this was only the beginning. The Void Pact was still out there, and they would not stop. One evening, as she stood again on the eastern balcony, Vela joined her. You're not leaving, are you? The Queen asked. Lily shook her head. Not while they're still hunting children. Vela placed a hand on her shoulder. Then we fight. Not as queen and human, but as family. Lily smiled. As fathers. Vela chuckled, a rare, warm sound. As fathers, and below in the garden, Kira and Ren practiced star runes together, their laughter rising like music. The twin moons shone bright, and for the first time, Lily felt not like a visitor but like someone who belonged. The war ahead would be long, but they would face it together, human, Zinthari, and everything in between. Weeks passed since the trial of Echoes, and the court of Zenthara settled into a fragile calm. Lily Carter, once a name unknown beyond the outer rim, now echoed through every corridor of the palace. She walked the gardens with Kira at her side, teaching her earth words for flowers and stars. Kira, in turn, showed Lily how to read the sky runes that shimmered above the city, messages from ancestors written in light. But peace never lasts long in places of power. Rumors spread like smoke through the lower districts. Some said the human was a spy. Others claimed she had used forbidden tech to trick the memory vault. The Kroth envoy had not returned to his homeworld. Instead, he lingered in the shadowed alleys of the capital, meeting with disloyal nobles and exiled warlords. Vela knew this. Her spies reported every whisper, yet she said nothing, watching, waiting. Lily noticed the change first in the eyes of the guards. Their bows were lower now, their glances longer. Once a servant dropped a tray of crystal fruit near her feet and fled without apology. Kira clutched Lily's hand tighter that day. "They don't like me," Kira said quietly as they sat by the moon pool. "It's not you," Lily replied. "It's me. They think a human doesn't belong here." "But you do," Kira insisted. "You're my father." Lily smiled, though her chest ached. She had stopped correcting Kira about the word father. It no longer felt wrong. It felt true. That night Vela summoned her to the Royal Observatory. A dome of glass open to the stars. The Queen stood alone, wrapped in a cloak of deep blue, her horns catching the starlight like silver blades. "They are moving against us," Vela said without turning. "Who the inner circle? The old bloods. They believe Kira's birth weakens the throne. They say a half-human heir will invite invasion from the Federation or worse, the Void Cults. What do they plan to do?" Vela finally faced her. "They will strike during the Eclipse Festival. When the twin moons align, the palace shields dim for ritual cleansing. It is the only time the inner sanctum is vulnerable." Lily's breath caught. "How long? 3 days?" Silence stretched between them. Then Lily spoke. "What do you need me to do?" Vela stepped closer. "I need you to take Kira and leave." "No," Lily said instantly. "Listen." Vela's voice softened. "If they capture her, they will not kill her quickly. They will use her to break me, to rewrite the bloodline, to erase you from her memory. I cannot risk that, and if I stay, then you fight with me. But you are not a soldier, Lily. You are a linguist, a dreamer, and they will use that against you." Lily looked out at the stars. Earth felt impossibly far away, but Kira was here, real, breathing, loving. She turned back to Vela. "I stay, and we protect her together." Vela studied her for a long moment. Then she nodded. "Very well, but you must learn to fight." The next 2 days were a blur of training. Vela's elite guard, the silent ones with eyes like polished stone, taught Lily how to hold a plasma dagger, how to read an enemy's stance, how to move without sound. It was clumsy at first. Lily tripped over her own feet, dropped the blade twice, and once accidentally set a training dummy on fire. But she did not quit. Kira watched from the balcony, silent and serious. That night she pressed a small object into Lily's palm, a carved stone shaped like a heart, glowing faintly. "It's from the Garden of Echoes," Kira said. "It will help you remember who you are, even if the shadows try to take it." Lily tucked it into her tunic, right over her heart. The day of the eclipse arrived, cloaked in unnatural stillness. The air grew heavy. Birds fell silent. Even the palace crystals dimmed. Citizens gathered in the great square for the ritual, unaware of the storm gathering in the halls above. Lily stood in the inner sanctum with Kira beside her, dressed in simple armor, lightweight, flexible, lined with energy mesh. Vela paced near the door, claws extended, eyes sharp. "They will come through the east corridor," Vela said. "They think I will be at the ritual. They do not know I faked my presence." "How many?" "At least 20, maybe more." Lily took Kira's hand. "Stay behind me, no matter what." Kira nodded, her silver eyes wide but steady. Then the lights flickered. A low hum filled the corridor outside. The door seals hissed open. Shadows poured in. Tall figures in black armor, faces hidden, weapons humming with dark energy. At their head stood the Croth envoy, his scales gleaming red in the dim light. "You are outnumbered, human Vela." The envoy growled. "Surrender the child. Your death can still be quick." Vela said nothing. She raised her hand. From the ceiling, hidden panels slid open. Xanthari warriors dropped down, blades flashing. The battle erupted in a storm of light and sound. Lily pulled Kira behind a pillar as plasma bolts scorched the air. She drew her dagger, hands shaking but grip firm. A warrior lunged at her. She sidestepped, slashed low, and caught his leg. He roared and stumbled. Kira stayed close, eyes scanning the chaos. Then she pointed. Look through the smoke. 3 figures broke from the main fight, heading straight for them. Mercenaries. Hired blades with no loyalty but to coin. "Run," Lily shouted. They sprinted down a side passage, boots echoing on stone. Behind them, shouts and the crackle of energy weapons grew louder. Lily knew the palace layout from her walks with Kira. She turned left, then right, ducking into a narrow service tunnel. But the tunnel ended in a dead end. Trapped. Kira tugged her sleeve. "The wall?" Lily frowned. "What about it?" Kira pressed her small hand against a section of stone. Symbols glowed beneath her touch. The wall slid open, revealing a hidden chamber, the old nursery filled with soft light and floating orbs. "How did you know?" "I dreamed it," Kira said. They slipped inside. Lily sealed the door just as footsteps pounded past. For a moment they breathed. Then the floor trembled. Above them, the battle raged. Lily heard a cry, Vela's voice sharp with pain. Her heart lurched. "I have to go back," she said. No, Kira grabbed her arm. "They want you to go back." "It's a trap." Lily knelt. "I can't let her die." "You won't be alone," Kira said. "Look." She pointed to the far wall. Etched into the stone was a mural. Lily, Vela, and Kira standing beneath twin suns. Below it, words in Xanthari script glowed softly. "The bond of 3 is the shield of the realm." Lily understood. This wasn't just a hiding place. It was a sanctuary, and it was tied to them. Kira placed her hand on the mural. Lily followed. Vela's mark was already there, burned into the stone during Kira's naming day. As their hands touched the wall, warmth spread through Lily's body. Memories surged, not just hers but Vela's and Kira's too. Love, fear, hope, sacrifice. The chamber hummed. Light poured from the walls, forming a bridge of energy that led upward, straight to the throne room. They stepped onto it. In the throne room, Vela knelt, bleeding from her side, surrounded by fallen warriors. The Croth envoy stood over her, blade raised. "Your reign ends tonight," he snarled. "Not today," a voice said. He turned. Lily stood at the top of the light bridge, Kira beside her. Her eyes burned with something ancient. Her dagger glowed with white fire. The envoy laughed. "You think a human child and a broken queen can stop?" Lily stepped forward. "We are not alone." The palace itself answered. Crystals flared. Pillars rose. The floor shifted, trapping the remaining attackers. The very air vibrated with power. The bond of 3 made real. Vela rose, strength returning. Together, the 3 of them faced the envoy. He hesitated, then fled. Silence returned, deeper this time. Vela embraced Kira, then turned to Lily. "You stayed, I told you I would," Lily said. In the days that followed, the traitors were exiled or imprisoned. The council was reformed. And Lily Carter was given a new title. Not princess, not ambassador, but first sire of the new line, a role with no precedent, but full honor. Kira never called her anything but father. And in the quiet nights, when the twin moons shone bright, the 3 of them would sit in the garden, singing a lullaby about blue skies and yellow flowers, human, Xanthari, and something beautifully in between.